when we look at life, so it's like a basic understanding about our friends, our family, our surrounding, what kind of peoples are surrounding us, or in what kind of physical environment we are living. So it's like a basic understanding about life, right? Be it our emotionally, our physical understanding about ourselves, and when we see what we can experience. So they all form part of a general understanding, which is life, right? So when we are talking about this particular life, so this life is not just like a 1 year or like 100 years process, what we understand in general. Life took like a billions of years evolutionary process to develop what we are today. Well, when we try to understand life, so as per our science, it took around 4 billion year. Around 4 billion year, it's a not accurate figure, but around 4 billion year, we can understand that life took birth on this earth. Or we can say life was originated on this earth since the last 4 billion years, right? So when we are talking about this 4 billion years, so there was a lot evolution during this period. Like all form of life, whatever we see surrounding us, so they all became some way or some part, what you can say, part of this particular 4 billion evolutionary process. And a human itself developed in those 4 billions from very different stages, right? So when we try to understand this 4 billions evolutionary process, so in this 4 billions evolutionary process, we developed many things, or we can say we metamorphise ourselves in many different ways. Like we developed a different set of our physical traits or our emotional understanding or our thought process. So when everything were developing, so human brain also developed. It also became a part of a huge development. So when we are talking about particularly human brain, so human brain is one of the like most well developed brain of a particular species we can understand on this earth today, right? So as humans brain was the most evolved, so generally it made human the most evolved creature among all other species, right? So as we try to understand this brain's capacity, so brain which took around, it was also same developmental period, it took of 4 billion. So brain developed many different things. Brain became a more powerful thing as with time passes, right? So when we became more powerful by our brain, so our thought process also developed. We developed a different set of understanding. So as we were growing, so there was a basic what you can say, basic curiosity which originated at that point, which was like we wanted to know what's this general life. If this is life, so why this is life, or what's the purpose of this particular life. So it was a basic curiosity, because as our brain was developing, so our thought process also developed. So there was a what you can say huge curiosity among mass to know these things. So at the search for the truth, or what you can say, the search for the meaning of life took place. So that time there was huge curiosity, right? As our brain developed, we developed a different thought process, a different understanding. So this curiosity was always very necessary part to know that why this life, why we are alive, what's the purpose of this life, or what's the meaning of life in general. So when we took search, what you can say, we took part in the different searches. Some persons took it like philosophical way, some person took it like physical way, or some person took it with what you can say, a different dimension to understand in general what is life. So while we were taking this route of like searching the purpose of life or the meaning of life or the truth about life, so we stuck on a point where it was like our belief system. Well, when we were searching for the meaning of life, so different person used a different kind of understanding, right? So at that particular point, we found a belief system. A belief system was one system which gave somehow some satisfaction to human search for the meaning of life. Well, when we are talking about, I am not talking about in particular what you can say, a religion. So a belief system I am talking about in general. Well, our belief system, be it all short of religion, whatever we know, and even all short of culture, or we can say all short of our cult, or anything, so what we understand about life in general. So these all sort of things which are part of the belief system. So I'm talking about in general this belief system, right? I'm not targeting or talking about a particular religion or cult. I'm just talking about a belief system which includes these all of the things which gave somehow a little satisfaction to human being to understand life, right? So as we try to understand life, we got a basic understanding about like our belief system tried to satisfy us. in that part where it was like, yeah, to give us a basic understanding about what's the purpose of life, what's the meaning of life. So while we were understanding this particular thing, like what was life, but still everyone could not be satisfied with this particular belief system, right? Because who is believer, okay, they somehow can understand that, yeah, they got a basic understanding, or their curiosity was satisfied. But we cannot take for granted all population, right? Because there are some persons who might not be lean toward that particular belief system, or there were no any belief systems which were like enough capable to satisfy this particular person's curiosity. So this particular person still took voice to search for the truth, means, or we can say they still was searching for the meaning of truth, meaning of life, right? So while we come to know, so these persons who believed, so they started following this belief system religiously. When we are talking about, so they started putting their full faith inside this belief system. They took this belief system like everything, like a final destination. And on other side, these other persons, they were little reluctant toward this belief system, or either they did not give heed about this particular belief system. So they took their own voyage or own search, right? So there were two parts now of society. One part, or we can say a major part who believed in belief system, who trusted on this belief system. On other side, we had this particular group who is like minority, we can say now, who had still curiosity. The belief system could not satisfy their curiosity about the search, or the search for the meaning of life, right? So these believer, as they believed, so they started following this belief system blindly, or we can say religiously. So when someone become follower, or someone start following a particular belief system, so it's a very natural that they try to protect this belief system in all cost, at all cost, right? So when we try to protect this particular belief system in all short of understanding, all short of our what you can say cost, so it's a very natural that we will be ready to quarrel for this particular belief system, because this is what we believe in totally, and somehow we are like little, can say, blinded by this belief system. Well, it is what it is. But when we try to understand this belief system, if we are satisfied with this, so we start ignoring these persons, or we can say we start talking about the person who is still continuing the search for the truth, or search for the meaning of life. So we start seeing them as our opponent, right? So we start seeing them as our opponent. So while we are seeing this person as our opponent, so it's a very natural to have quarrel. We try to either impart our belief system on them, or if they are not accepting anyhow, so we start fighting. In general, we start fighting for our belief system, and these persons, we see them like outsider, or a person who is not human, or a person who does not have any humanity, or these all sort of things. But in general understanding, we shall not forget that when we are trusting on a particular belief system, well, this belief system, okay, we understand, we believe in this particular belief system, but we shall be mindful that aren't we like blinded by this belief system, or is this belief system stopping our vision to search for further, or to at least satisfy ourselves at outside the point of views. So when we don't think we try to understand this particular scenario of belief system, so definitely it is, sometimes it sounds like that this particular belief system is making us blind. Well, it's if that's stopping our vision to search or to really understand what's the truth. If it is truth, that's okay. But if that's not truth, if that's still, we are just somehow blinded by the, what you can say, the light surrounding that particular belief system. Well, when we try to understand these all sort of things, so it's called in general the search for life, right? And when we are searching for life, yes, I know we found a belief system. As a halt, either we take it as, or either we can take it as destination, whatever it is. But I am still saying that, still I shall say that I insist that, okay, if we have full faith, we trust on this belief system, that's okay. But there is no problem while other persons are searching for the truth, or searching for the meaning of life. So we shall not speak against them, at least, right? Because we believe, okay, it is belief. If they let them search, if they search, if they find something, so that's okay for them. If they don't find funny, they will come to this things only, right? Because if we believe that particular thing is okay with us, so which is a reality or the real meaning of life, so let them go and search. After a time, once they are satisfied with their search or their voyage or the search for the meaning of life, so after that they will return to this belief system, right? So this, when we are taking this all sort of understanding, this all sort of things like our understanding about belief system, understanding still about the search for the truth, well, I shall say this much only. Okay, we have trust, we shall not take it as destination, we take it as a halt. I'm not saying don't trust or don't believe in belief system at all. Okay, it is one thing, well, let's keep it, but that does not mean that we shall blind ourselves. We shall still keep searching. Okay, if that's okay, that's at least we will come to know something more. And if you don't find anything, so we will develop the strong belief system on this particular belief, right? I believe that with this video, I could satisfy little of your curiosity or the what you can say, the search for the meaning of truth or meaning of life. So if little understanding you got, a general satisfaction, or what you can say, little satisfaction to your curiosity if you got, I will consider the purpose of this video is achieved. And yes, if you liked this video, if it gave you a little tingling inside or gave a little thought process, so please subscribe this channel, because this channel is all about this kind of curiosities, this kind of videos, or this kind of understandings. And yes, if you are not subscribing due to probably some reason, so please mention in comment section below, so what are those purpose, what are those reasons that you could not satisfy or don't want to subscribe this channel. So if you subscribed, thank you for that. And if you did not subscribe, still I shall say, please mention in comment section below. That would be a great help from your side to me, and that would be a general understanding for me as well, that what to go forward, how to move forward, right? So by then, please take care.